invite you now to open your heart to hear from one of our community members here in Santa Clara County. Rosie Chavez will come to tell us why SB 1421 is important to her.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here. Hello, my name is Rosie Chavez. Currently, I am a participatory defense community release project organizer with Silicon Valley Debug. I've worked in this community for 17 years in substance use and recovery, helping people turn their lives around and giving them hope. I've lost my 33-year-old nephew, Jacob Dominguez, 18 months ago to the hands of SJPD. When I received the news, I was in shock and total disbelief. I was devastated. The young boy I helped raise was gone. Our family still attempts to heal from such an horrific loss every day. A few months after losing Jacob, still full of hurt and anger, I found myself trying to turn the hurt and anger into motivation. I was lost, asking myself, what do I do? Jacob came to me in a dream. In this dream, I walked down my hallway. I saw Jacob sitting on the sofa with his arms around his mom and his grandma. It felt so real. I said, mijo, which means my son. What do you want Auntie to do? He replied with confidence and a grin. Auntie, you know what to do. Talk to them people. It started from there. We had met people from Silicon Valley Debug and PACT after his death. The organizations were new to us. I knew very little, but knew that they were community-based organizations. I needed to continue being his voice and fighting for justice and change, not only for him, but others. They had left his 3 babies, all under the age of 7, without a father. I worried for them, my own children, my grandkids growing up in this community, and being of color. So I started participating and lobbying for SB 1421, Right to Know Act, lobbying in Sacramento, meeting and talking to assembly members, and making trips to different cities, being Jacob's voice. As you heard, there was a huge opposition, yet SB 1421 passed, and it's set to build police transparency. We have a right to know what types of disciplinary action, if any, officers receive when using force causing serious injury or death, where there are incidents they were involved in, and if so, how many. Our communities deserve to know what type of officers we have patrolling our community. So we, Jacob's mom, wife, and myself, put in an SB 1421 request at the beginning of the new year. We've been anxiously waiting for a response. It's like our heartbeats racing to receive anything and everything on the officers involved in our loved ones' deaths. Anything and everything is valuable to us. We received 3 responses, but no answers. From heartbeat racing now to flatlined, having to relive the hurt and anger with no real answers with records from SJPD. Families impacted from our community want transparency and accountability. If our police departments stand behind their departments and believe they follow all policies procedurally, then show the communities you serve to protect some true transparency and honor the request. Build that bridge with the families impacted in our community. Right now, I'd like to read something my then 10-year-old son had written for a school project. Have you ever wondered what it felt like to lose someone you love or know? Well, I have. I will tell you what happened at 4 a.m. September 16, 2017. I was 10, my brother was 25 on that terrible day when my cousin Jacob was shot and killed by police. I was so shocked that night I didn't have tears crawl down my face. My mom cried so much that it started to look like a stream of tears that got bigger and bigger. We had a visual for him. Everyone there gave hugs to comfort one another through one of the most tragic moments. I witnessed everyone crying and sobbing. They lighted candles and pictures of him placing on the rusty gray curb where he had been killed. While everyone was weeping and bursting out tears like a water gun, I wondered to myself, why haven't I not cried? Then as I take a glance at his wife, Jessica, who also crying, I thought about his 3 children, how heartbreaking and hard it would be to be without a father to teach him how to become men, or how my little cousin, who is a girl, will go to her first daddy-daughter dance without a daddy. That's when a tear dropped down my eye. At the end of the day, we were all devastated. It's been a rough year now. We found out Jacob was unarmed. Now I wonder why the police would take a loved father away from his children. Was it because of his tattoos? Was it his past that police were worried about? Either way, our family has gotten stronger every day. Even I want some action on fighting for justice, not just for Jacob, but for all, for the people. My son's a part of this community, and for him to have to go through this tragic event with us, this is time to build that bridge and show some transparency. He's growing up here, and I'd like that from this police department, not only for us, but for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your experiences and perspective, Rosie. I just want to, for myself, take a moment to let that sink in. Testimonies met with deep listening help us create the relationships we need to build a more respectful and just community. So it is important that we all let Rosie's words resonate within us so that we can become a more open-minded and discover the means to affect real change.